from '05 to 2013. So to be able to play for him, he's a player's manager. He understands the game as well as anybody. So I'm really looking forward to it.
What were your thoughts over the last few years? Let's just go over the last 5 years. You watched from afar the Braves. They go up, down. Let's go back to last year as you watched what they were doing, knowing that this was a possibility. How much more excited did that success make you for this possibility?
I've been watching the Braves since the day I left. I mean, from 14 to now, I've always kept up with how they're doing. And to see where it's at now, they're knocking on the door for championships. And that's what this organization stands for. I mean, that's what it's been built on from way back in the day. And it's been passed from generation to generation to generation. And like I said, this organization, this jersey, it's a big deal. So, and the players today are bringing that back. So I'm just glad to be a part of that.
Hey, Brian, even in the glow of the World Series a year ago, you mentioned at your charity thing that you wanted to come back, finish your career here. What was it about this? Is there anything other than being from here and this being your original organization? Is there anything special about it?
Yeah, to win another championship. I mean, we're talking about a team that won 90-plus games, that knocking on the door for big things, and that's a big reason.
Chris Tomino, 680 The Fan. Mac, take the baseball part out of it, the games themselves, but how much different are you as a guy, maybe even the time in New York and then Houston, to be a guy in the clubhouse that the
I've learned a
guys
lot.
are supposed to be?
I've learned a lot over the years from a lot of great players of how to show up on a daily basis and win. You know, I've been around a lot of winning players, and I was taught that from day one, from Chipper and Glav and Smoltz and going to play with CC Sabathia and Carlos Beltran. I mean, my career's progressed, and I've learned from a lot of great players that I can share knowledge that I've learned over the years with the players here.
Cody Chaffetz from Fox 5 here in Atlanta. A lot of these guys you don't know. How will you go about kind of feeling them out and getting to know them and being able to become that leader? What does it take to kind of win these guys over?
It's just over time, you know, hanging out and letting them get to know me getting to know them, and knowing what I'm all about. And like I said, I'm looking forward to getting in the clubhouse, meeting the guys, and ultimately, you know, going for that one goal that everybody's trying to do around here, and that's win a World Series.
Alex, what was the selling point for you?
Obviously, everyone knows Brian McCann. I remember being in Toronto, and when he was a free agent, and the background work we did was he wasn't, you know, it was going to be a tough sell to get him to end up going there, but he's one of the best players in the game. And the more work I did, obviously there was a ton of people I could ask internally about him. I mean, the reviews were unbelievable, but I went beyond that, and we called around, and the more people I called, I mean, I could look at the numbers and everything else, but the more people I called and asked about him and what he brought to the team, to the clubhouse, and you guys have heard me talk about this before, I firmly believe, and I've seen it, certain players make other players around them better. And it's hard to have that show up on a stat sheet, but I've seen it over the years. I've learned it as a young GM that you know, he's going to make players better. They may be shaving a little bit off in the ERA or helping someone's approach at the plate, or just having them not go down the wrong path, or being a good teammate. Those are all things over the course of 6 months. 25 guys are together day in and day out, and the respect that he's going to carry in that room, and the fact that he cares about this place so much, about the community, about Atlanta, about the Braves, it's hard to quantify that. So that has tremendous value in itself beyond what he's going to do in the box or behind the plate. So, you know, and then from a financial standpoint, obviously it fit in a lot of ways, and it allowed us to do some other things that we plan on doing as well. So, look, he wanted to be here. He didn't need to do this at all. This is about winning for him. Like I said, a lot of players say it, but they don't really honor that and live up to that. And I'm not surprised the more you talk about the character, the makeup that everyone says about him, and I saw it when we went down this path.
Hey, Brian, I didn't introduce myself. David O'Brien with The Athletic.
I know. Yeah, I love you, buddy.
What kind of health are you in right now? And have you talked to Tyler at all over the past couple of years? And do you think you'll fit with him, mesh well with him as kind of a tandem?
Absolutely.
Tandem?
And I'm healthy. I feel 100%. And working with Tyler, I'm really excited. we played minor league baseball together, so we were at the Days Inn Suites at 19 years old hanging out. So like I said, my career, this is coming full circle. This is coming all the way back around and getting to play with and play for people that I've known for a long, long time. And it's, like I said before, this is a great day.
Alex, from a point of view where you talk about having one of those guys in the clubhouse, the position itself, does it lend itself to actually being an extra benefit if you can get one of those guys as a catcher?
Yeah, I mean, it's with what we do, our prep, our advance, this is one of the most important positions on the field for us. So, we had Kurt and we had Tyler last year that did an unbelievable job. Forget what they did on the field, just their prep. And even in speaking of Brian, he was all in on that. So there's a bunch of guys, whether it was trade or free agency, that if we weren't as convinced that they were going to be all in on our prep, our game planning, our advance, they weren't going to be a fit for us as much as they're talented and so on and the makeup. So the bar for us to bring somebody in at this position is very high. And Brian checks off every box, if not more. And in talking to him, you got even more excited about it. So, I mean, it just across the board, there's everything that we want he brings. And we also think, just with the knee injury he had last year, the work that we did on that, we really believe it had an impact. And obviously Brian could speak to this, but we think it had an impact at the plate with his right knee. And we think there's going to be upside, that he can bounce back and be a much better offensive player than he was with that knee being fixed. I mean, we obviously got him examined, and the reports were very strong. They thought he looks great. So we think there's some upside with the performance as well beyond everything else he brings. So we're very excited about everything that he's going to be able to offer this club.
Brian, Alex talked about game planning. Can you kind of tell us what these past 2 years being in Houston's system has meant to you? I mean, look, you've always had a good baseball IQ, but how did that strengthen what you already had?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a guy, I want as much information as I can possibly get. And, I kind of found a routine that I had to help me prepare to call a game. And, I spend a lot of time on the video, and I spend a lot of time working with the analytics department. And, it's I'm looking forward to it because the preparation I put in, I want all the information, right? And then I can dissect what's going to work for my brain and go from there. But I think that's one of my strong suits is calling a game, and I'm hoping to show that.
Any last questions for Brian or Alex?
Hey, Brian. Alvin Bryan from WSB. Welcome back home.
Thank you.
Question I have for you is, I remember when you first came to the Braves a few years back, and to return as a Brave again, just explain and express to us, if you could, the feeling you had then and the feeling today from a personal standpoint.
Oof, good question. When I first got called up, I mean, when you're 21 years old and you're trying to figure this thing out, life's going 100 miles an hour and you're just trying to succeed. And then as you play on and you find a routine, 14 years later, and I come back and I have a family, I have 2 kids, and life has definitely slowed down. But my knowledge of the game has just gotten a lot more. So this is just perfect timing for my 2 kids, my wife, to be home to help this team win a championship.
Brian, have you thought about the fact that you made your debut, I think, with Smoltz pitching, right?
Second day, yeah.
Okay.
I caught Davies first day.
And now it's going to be just the opposite. I mean, there's going to be some young guys breaking in at 20, and you're going to be the.
And what Smoltz taught me, I'm going to be able to teach these young guys and how to get a routine and how to show up on a daily basis and get your work in and how to dissect lineups and what to look for. And so over the years I've gotten a lot of knowledge that I can pass down to these guys.
Today's 20, 21-year-old players a little bit different, it seems like, than when you guys came up. But you've played with some of those guys with the Yankees and with the Astros. Do you feel like you know exactly what you're getting into as far as the young guys, today's young guys compared to? That's
how you have to win in today's game. You have to win from within. You have to have prospects that come up and carry the workload. I mean, that's the blueprint of baseball now. And the farm system's so valuable, and you see these guys coming up. Acuna, Albies, Dansby, Camargo. You see these guys come up and be impact players, so that it allows the team to go, get a Donaldson. It's just that's how you win championships. And I don't know if I'm supposed to say that. I just read it on Twitter.
Never believe Twitter.
Never believe Twitter. Sorry about that. But no, I mean, it's just like those things are. That's how you build a championship. Probably wasn't supposed to say that, huh?
I didn't know who you're talking about. So,
Unless that was an old jersey, Mac, is 16.
Yeah, it's still on
official?
there. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
you called Charlie today.
Yeah.
Is that how it?
Yeah. I'll have to buy him something nice. But yeah, I appreciate him giving it to me. The number means a lot to me, and obviously the first number I wore in the big leagues, and got to wear it for 9 years. So, yeah, it's special.
Okay, thank you, Brian. Thank you, Alex.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.